gosh, Ryan.
Too bad. All right. Well, this is actually, I did start recording.
Okay.
This is the second podcast I'm making for Ryan's Random Podcast, but I am here with my very good friend, Carl.
Hello there, ladies.
Okay. The Bauer Hour, possibly? I don't know.
It's always the Bauer Hour.
Okay, so tonight's podcast is a little bit about the book Winning by Jack Welch. Did you ever read that, Carl?
I've never read it, never heard of it.
I didn't even finish reading it, but I got a lot out of the beginning and middle of the book. So in the intro of this book, one of the biggest questions that Jack Welch is asked at like all his conferences is, how do I win? That's what he said he was asked the most. And I think that's a very broad question, but somebody like Jack Welch, who was, the ex-CEO of General Electric, I think that he's kind of the person you ask that. I think whether you love him or hate him as a CEO, like as a liberal, I hate CEOs. They're greedy, fuck them, but I guess he's the guy I'd ask as well if I'm talking about business. Anyway, how would you answer that, Carl? How would you think people win in life? What are some suggestions you would give them?
Well, I'm still trying to win right now, so
take
it from this guy.
Well,
but I definitely think wealth is something more human and organic. Love is winning. So
I would agree with that.
For your hippie comment, I haven't read the book, so I don't know if he's talking strictly financially or career-wise.
I think it's a mix of all of that. But one of the things he does say that I took from this book is that we should only look to people who've already successfully walked down a path that we want to go for the advice that we're asking for. I don't think it's stupid to ask somebody that's failed at what you want to do, because you can learn where they failed.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But I think that for the most part, he is right that we need to turn to people who have already successfully done what we want to do. Everybody has paved the path for somebody. Paved a path.
It's true, definitely.
Not
Absolutely.
paved. So that's something I took from this book that I think in the real world is important. If you're a younger person listening to this, just trying to get into business or an internship, ask the questions to the people who have actually done what you want to do before. Another thing that I really love from this book is that he says you basically have to, when you get a job, you have to work your way up. You're going to start at the bottom, and that's probably the best way. A lot of people, I think, want to jump from college or whatever straight to $65,000, $75,000 a job right away, and I don't think that's reality anymore. I think that's far from reality. I think that people come out of college with debt and they get a $35,000, $45,000 job, and they hate their lives. But I digress.
It's true.
I digress.
Definitely, if they don't have bills to pay, once you get caught in that cycle, it's stressful. It takes you out of, reality, essentially. You're just in a grind doing the same menial tasks for 8 hours a day. Don't get me wrong, some people do some great stuff, but, as far as, the common man goes, a lot of us, just get a job because we need a means of making money. We're not really doing something we're passionate about doing. And you're spending 8 hours or more a day away from your family, friends, loved ones, or, passions or hobbies of your own, because you need to go make $1.
I 100% agree with that. And again, that's why, like, in my own career path so far, wherever I've worked, I'm not going to obviously disclose everything I've done in life, but everything that I've done, I've typically had to start at the bottom of that company and work my way up. One of them being, CVS. I don't mind saying that, but I started doing just basic stuff. I mean, they paid me a little bit more because I asked, because I wanted to move up quicker, but other than that, I mean, I started at the bottom and moved my way up. In the internship in college, I was started at the bottom and had to move my way up into that job. And then I don't think there's a better way. And if you're going to really get to the top of a company one day, like Jack Welch, he did start at the bottom and he kept getting promoted over and over. So right. I do think that is the best way. Because when, I asked on the last podcast, where are the jobs? Show me the jobs. You go on a job board and you don't see anything. Entry level and retail.
It's true.
Or something that wants so much experience that you don't have yet.
Right.
And they're not even considering you.
Exactly. That's most jobs. Unfortunately, it seems like it's, you either have those common jobs that you apply for and, go on an interview and get, something simple like a retail store or a restaurant or something along those lines. Most, people, at least that I know, do jobs like that, and whereas I lost my train of thought here.
No, but we could go on for hours about these things, honestly.
It's true.
Another point I want to take that relates to this, though, is that he talks about, like, I know a lot of us just take jobs to take jobs because we need money and we need to pay our bills. But, like, if you have the opportunity to first read the mission statement and look at the values of that company, I think that is going to vastly improve your outlook on that job when you actually get the job. Because if my mission is not the same as the company's and I don't believe in the same ideals and the shit that they believe in, then that company won't be a fit for me in the long run, most likely.
Right.
Like a terrible example of this is like if a company backed the pipeline stuff and I'm an environmentalist, I would hate working for that company that's financially backing something I never would support.
Right.
CVS actually had a mission statement that I supported. I don't know it word by word, but they're very customer oriented. That's why I like to shop there. Not to give them props or anything, but I do enjoy shopping there. But you want to make sure you're like proud of where you work.
Absolutely.
And proud of what you do.
Definitely helps if you're, to be cliche, they say if you have a job you like or, doing something you love, you don't work a day in your life. So, yeah,
unfortunately.
I'd like to find that. Like to be able to do certain things that I enjoy for money.
I could make so many dirty jokes out of that, but I'm gonna refrain.
I have my dignity, Ryan.
Yeah, but you would feel more fulfillment from your job if you agree with the future and ideas and morals that they live by or whatever. So that's something to look out for that I took, again, from the book, Winning. I'm not doing a Spark Notes on this book. I'm not trying to give people like a main summary. I'm just taking what I learned from so far reading it and relating it to my reality, which may be different from a lot of others' realities. Are we both millennials? Yeah, I think.
Yes.
So we have a different reality than our parents, or from what our kids will have in the future. But again, as a liberal-leaning mind, I don't know whether you are or not. Sometimes maybe we're kind of both middle.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on the subject,
Yeah.
But for the most part, pretty flexible. Just want everybody to be free and do whatever the hell they want,
I agree.
Just don't force things upon me.
Yeah.
Or take things away from us.
So, as a liberal, there's one thing I really do hate about Jack Welch. It's an idea that I have a love-hate relationship with, and tell me how you feel about this when I mention it, but he has a 70-20-10 rule. You ever hear about that?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so 70-20-10 is like saying that 70% of like a company's workforce is like the main part of the machine. They're your everyday people that get tasks done. Like they're your they're the main engine of like your whole business. But then he talks about the 20%, which he calls the all-stars, the people that make the deals and like sign the contracts and make a lot of money for you and that move up, the ladder at an exponential rate. But then he talks about the bottom 10, and this is where I think I have a civil war in my head, because he says that the bottom 10 should just be dropped. So every time they do like let's say yearly, I don't know if that was how they do it, but yearly we're going to drop the bottom 10% of the company, like who we think is the bottom 10, they're just done. We're firing them. As a businessman, I would fire the bottom 10% of my company, I think. If you're not mixing well with what I want to do in my company, I'd probably let you go. But there's something I believe in that I learned in college called corporate social responsibility, which means that a corporation, to me, has some responsibility to the public, meaning if you're providing jobs to people and they're not the worst workers, like they actually kind of do their job, I don't like that he just wants to drop these people. They have families to feed, and that's my liberal mind speaking. I feel bad. Mm-hmm. But I know in my own small company, I'd probably drop that person myself. So I agree with him, and then I disagree on the other half because I think that, I think it's a little controversial to say the bottom 10 should always just get laid off. Doesn't that if every company thought that way, wouldn't we continuously have 10% or more unemployment at least? Right, I don't know if that math equals out.
Yeah, I'm not sure about, the numbers or statistics or anything like that. But, as far as running a business goes, if somebody's not doing a job up to their qualification or your expectation of what you think they should be doing for you based on the amount that you're paying them, then it's like if you have the means of letting them go and can get on better, without them, or if you replace them, then I guess you gotta do what you gotta do for the best interest of the company.
No, I agree with that. I do. But it brings up the point, like, I feel like I've seen in my career thus far that people who kiss ass move up quick.
Definitely.
And again, that opens that culture. Well, yeah. Who gets out of that middle 70 and goes to the top 20? And who goes from the middle 70 to the bottom 10? If ass kissing is involved, that just kind of annoys me. I know it happens, but it's just annoying because it's a corrupt way to keep, who you like around you. But like in a big company like that, it's not just about keeping, your friend or your whatever. Like and I doubt that Jack Welch did that. But I'm saying it opens up the ass kissers might move up, and some of the people who are doing their job pretty decent are going to get laid off. It's a small percentage I'm worried about, but it's my heart that I have.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure it happens or has happened,
that people who are decent workers and have a family to feed kind of get the short end of the stick. I know deep down inside, though, I would do the same thing. I wouldn't, I worked with people, let's take the CVS example, that really made my job very hard and obviously hated their job. So, I think I was doing them a favor by letting them go when I had to at certain stores. But on the flip side of this, Jack Welch says that, good workers, people who do a good job for the company, deserve to be recognized, and one of the best ways he likes recognizing is financially, perks. I think that's wonderful. I don't think enough companies recognize their hard workers.
Right.
Especially in retail establishments.
Right. I definitely think there's certain cases where they might, recognize them, in different aspects. Maybe, if you're like a small team, maybe, one day they buy you lunch or a cake or whatever the situation is. Just some examples I've seen. Maybe there's group emails where they might put a little note letting everybody know something specific.
Yeah, but people when in a job we want a promotion or a raise.
Well, that's my point. Yeah, exactly. I've seen things like that, but if you really want to show me, some honor or whatever it is,
that's nice too.
Then give me a raise, you know what I'm saying?
But that's what as a worker, that's what you'd want.
Or a bonus here or there, however.
and he does
And
that.
I'm sorry,
for
my
his main
wording
team.
is off right now, but
No, it's not. He does that. He says for the people that he recognized, give or take. I don't know who he's recognized, whether I would think they're cool or not, or good at their job or not. But like he says, to give raises, promotions, extra benefits, anything, extra sick days, extra
like
vacation
that's what
days.
people want. Like,
That's
so
what people want to be recognized
exactly.
once in a while. We're all humans.
Right.
Give me an extra vacation day. I appreciate it. Thank you. Give me
Exactly.
an extra quarter or an hour. Thank you. Like, whatever. It's
Hopefully
something.
it's more than a quarter.
Obviously, but whatever it is, it's a token of your appreciation.
Right, exactly.
But again, that's something that I don't see being done very well. Maybe I'm being biased because I might be talking mostly about retail here,
That same thing. That's like my only experience as well.
but
So,
I would even go into like the corporate world and say that I don't think that some of the greatest workers I've worked with are recognized very well. Sometimes they are, but not by the company, maybe by the local boss. But it's an interesting concept. But I agree with Jack Welch there. I think that companies, especially as big as General Electric, the best thing you could do is promote somebody, give them a raise, or whatever.
Absolutely.
If you have the ability to, that's what you should do. Companies should pay attention to the great workers that they have. Sometimes I've seen, a jerk go ahead while people that have the good morals or ethics and values that I think are good and, that you expect to get promoted or move on, get forgotten about. And I don't like that very much.
Right.
I again, every day I've seen people not getting recognized by their employers. But most companies try to, for some people, and they do their best they can, I guess. Jack Welch also goes into things about, like, just because you're a boss or a manager, that doesn't mean you know everything. He suggests that to build your team, you should be hiring people that know more than you do.
Sure, I can definitely agree with that from experience.
But from experience, do you see people typically, do you think people get threatened by that? I think too many people are afraid and get threatened. Like, if I'm your boss and I think you know more about the subject than I do, doesn't that threaten me and maybe I don't want to hire somebody like that? I think that happens too much. I agree with Jack, you should hire people that know more than you all the time.
Seems like, most people are on like a survival instinct.
I think people are. I think a lot of people don't do that. But it's good advice. I think I would like to follow that if I wasn't, like...
It's definitely a fear-based society.
It is. But when I was, like, interested in rap music, when I used to do it more as a younger guy, I think that's what I missed. Because I could do the rap and my friends could do the raps, but we didn't have people around us that knew more about the industry of music than we did. We knew nothing about the industry. We just knew how to make a song.
Right.
But, like, we should have hired or just put people around us that knew more about the industry. Maybe public, a PR person or something. Somebody that knows more than you do so that you can get further using them. It's like a symbiotic relationship.
Right.
Like a clownfish and a sea anemone. They use each other. I think it's right? Is that the right word?
You're asking the wrong guy, man. I'm just taking your word for it.
I think it's called symbiotic. If I'm wrong,
Symbiotic.
Write it in the comments. But it's a relationship between like animals like that,
Well, I know what the symbiotic means, but you said some fish's name.
A sea anemone and a clownfish.
Sea anemone?
Okay,
What?
Finding Nemo.
Okay,
What he lived in is a sea
twice.
anemone. The little wavy thing. They were clownfish.
I don't know why I had that word just in the term.
The
just
anemone
goes over
protects them from, because it hurts a lot of fish other than clownfish. So the clownfish are protected. I think the clownfish help clean the anemone or whatever, bring it food. I'm not sure how that works, but they both do something for each other.
Okay.
Whatever. I digressed a lot there.
No, that's very educational.
Hire people that know more than you. I think that's really important. I think that my bosses, and throughout my career, no matter what I was doing, typically didn't do that. But some of them did, and I think those were the most successful teams that I had, were people that knew more. They, as long as you're not a jerk about it, like, the knowledge is great for everyone else.
Absolutely.
And you can delegate a lot of tasks. to those people that know more about other things, and you can focus on more important things. So I think that is important.
Like chilling in the office.
Well, yeah, basically. So not really on the book anymore. That's basically what I took from the book so far.
Okay.
I think it's a cool book.
You're
I would recommend it. I mean, I go through it. I skimmed through a lot of... I went back again and read some more stuff I already read. It's just interesting. I would assume for managers or people that want to go down the road of being a manager, that this would be the only book you need to read, to be honest with you, if you really want to go down that route. My advice, again, if anyone younger, maybe high school, late high school, or early college, or even late college, or whatever, is listening to this, I think that finding out what you want to do in life is a very hard thing to do, but try to do it as early as possible.
I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up, man.
100% don't. But when you look at look at actors and musicians, sometimes I think of those like very successful people. I feel like a lot of them that are truly successful were doing this stuff as kids. Like rappers were probably making raps and flowing and loving rap music as a kid, and really got into it early and like really crafted their, how they're going to do what they're going to do, and they came up in the game and they were great. And actors too started very young, or maybe did a child role, moved up, and then won a Grammy or something. Like, if you have a dream like that, fucking run for it.
Absolutely.
And at the youngest age as possible. If you want to be a gymnast and you're a young girl or whatever, like, ask your parents to have gymnastic like classes for you immediately.
It's definitely easier to learn at a younger age, and so
it gives you a head start learning about that, everything you need to know about. If you have big dreams,
right?
If you don't know what you want to do, you don't know what you want to do, and you kind of just
not that you
cruise
have to
control.
Be
not that you have to know.
Star to
no, but if you have big
be a
dreams,
successful person or anything,
even if they're small dreams, if you have a dream of owning your own pet shop, like, start getting into that as young as you can.
It's a big dream for some people.
Yeah, it's a huge dream. Well, you know what I mean. In the grand scheme of things, no, but it's a big dream for somebody.
Absolutely.
But somewhere, I'm just saying, in general, whatever it is, go for it. Be consistent. I want to bring up a bad example of consistency, but the most amazing example I could think of.
Okay. DJ
Khaled. When he started, he was on like, saying "We the best" or whatever on the back of, an Ace Hood track or a Rick Ross track when he came out, and he was, T.I., whatever. Anybody could get his hands on Lil Wayne, Drake, and then he moved up. And the other day I'm listening to the radio, and he has now a big single with Beyonce and Jay-Z. If that's what you wanted to do as a kid, be in the music world and do what he does, whether it's producing or just hype man, like, now you just made a song with Beyonce and Jay-Z. And you're a young man still, pretty much. I mean, you're making money hand over fist. I mean, I think he's been so consistent. He wasn't as popular as he is now when he first came out with music. I mean, people knew who he was, but like, he's really popular now, like really famous. Makes a ton of money doing something he loves. I'm assuming he loves this. And DJ Khaled is the most consistent person I think I know.
That's cool.
And that's unfortunate.
I'm just kidding.
And just with the work ethic, it seems.
I understand.
Like, he always said "We the best" on music, and like he never stopped. And all of a sudden now it's on a Jay-Z Beyonce track, and it's like, oh, maybe you are the best at what you're doing.
I have no idea who this guy is, but
he's like a hype man. Really?
I can no, yeah. I really
you never heard him say? You never saw any of the commercials with like iHeartRadio?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so I'll show you him later, but you'll know him. He's very popular.
Okay.
He's a familiar face. But again, back to, I think you should do what you love and try to do it as soon as possible.
Definitely, especially if you have like people around you that are supportive. It definitely helps out. Even if people tell you, don't support you, if that's what you want to do, then
do it.
Shoot for the stars.
A lot of people, too, you can't tell a lot of people your dreams. They have to be a really close motherfucker to you, because if you tell somebody your dreams, most people are going to shoot it down right then and there. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate. Every time I told people dreams about music as a kid, they would be like, well, what do you really want to do?
I've
I
heard
really
that
want to do
before, too.
music. What do you really want to do? Well, maybe I shouldn't tell those people because they're doubting me, and that doubt really comes out and tries to like fuck with your head.
Right.
But I think that's actually all the time we have for today.
All right.
We hit the mark we want to hit for. Well, thank you, Carl, for joining. I hope you
Thanks
join
for
more.
having me.
I hope you join more often.
I would love to.
And thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time.
Thank you.